it's a part of the way that I parent too. I'm able, business, kind of like sports, it teaches you how to be committed, to not give up, to not be afraid to put yourself out there. It teaches you success and failure. And so I just decided to really bring my kids along on the journey.
Welcome to Mommispace. My name is Brianna Bernhard, your hostess, and I am a new mom. I selfishly created this podcast to get some advice and inspiration from the moms in my community who are doing amazing things while raising their families. I've realized motherhood is hard, but knowing I'm not alone in this call makes all the difference, and I hope you feel refreshed as you listen. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to Mommispace. This is Bree, and today I am here talking with Chelsea Dischinger. Chelsea, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you. I know you from our church, Inland Vineyard in Corona, and this is so funny. I'm embarrassed to say, I didn't actually officially meet you until we were at our mom's group. I think last month or something, but I'd heard about you from so many people at church because of what you do with your business, and you've spoken at some events, and I just, for whatever reason, happen to miss you each time, but I'm so grateful that I get to talk to you today specifically about what you do. So, welcome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so would you go ahead and just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, where you're located, and what your business is?
Yes. Well, my business is called Pacific Daisies, and we do handmade jewelry. We personalize it. It's also known as hand stamping, where we actually take each letter as a metal stamp and we hammer them in one at a time to create whatever you want it to say. So they're custom and specialty jewelry items. So that's what we do. And we use a portion of our profits to help rescue and rehabilitate human trafficking victims. That's really the purpose and my heart behind the business.
That's so amazing. So amazing. Where are you and your family located at the moment?
Corona, California.
Okay, cool.
I have 2 daughters. They're 7 and 9, and they are amazing. And then I also have an incredible husband who supports me and my crazy entrepreneur mom efforts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Wow. Okay, so I'd like to ask you a little bit about Pacific Daisies before we kind of dive into some of these other questions. And also, I'm just going to give a little disclaimer for those of you listening. I'm currently changing my daughter's diaper, so you might hear little noises in the background, but this is mom life, right?
Yeah.
Part of it. So anyways, how did you come up with Pacific Daisies, and what kind of prompted you to support these traffic victims in this way?
Well, to be honest with you, I wanted to, when I heard about human trafficking, it was right after my first daughter was born. And I saw it on the news, read about it or something. And it just struck me. I think becoming a new mom, you see children in a new way.
Yeah.
About
Totally.
child trafficking. I mean, it just struck me like I had never experienced. I couldn't sleep for days. And I just was really bothered by it. And I was telling my husband, I need to do something. He said, what do you want to do? So I looked into actually starting my own nonprofit and doing, actually going in and rescuing girls and all of that. And the more I looked into it, I realized there's so many incredible organizations out there, but they all have the same problem. Nobody has enough money.
Okay.
And then I thought, that's what I can do. I love business. I can be money. Because these people need to focus on what they're good at, which is rescuing the girls or rehabilitating or counseling them. They don't need to be out fundraising all the time, So that is when I decided to start my jewelry company to help fight human trafficking. And so that's really why I'm the business side. We are really involved. We do a lot actually there's a local safe home in Riverside here, and we are involved with that and we help out with that. But my goal is to be able to give the girls jobs by hiring them to work at my company.
Wow.
And right now we're working really hard to grow so that we can begin to do that, as well as fund the the Safe House here in Riverside, or and there's an organization called the Demand Project, and I'm actually the California State Ambassador for that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we work with law enforcement, and
Okay.
also, as well as say we were just donated 54 acres in Oklahoma that were with 9 properties, I believe, 9 houses, and so that's being transformed right now into a basically like a retreat for these women to go to and get their rehabilitation. So I'm involved in a bunch of that. My company does everything we can to help support it. Whether it's getting volunteers, it's doing a big drive to get items donated, whether it's writing a check, whatever we can do.
Wow, that's incredible. Oh, I
Thanks.
love that. Okay, so obviously, like this has become a passion of yours, and you mentioned that you love making money, and sounds like you're pretty entrepreneurial. Has that always been a passion of yours?
Oh, sorry. Um, Actually, I, funny enough, I failed accounting in college, and I'm a pretty smart girl. Like
Wow.
I in school, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to get my business degree because I can't pass accounting. I had to take it twice.
Wow.
Accounting's not really my favorite part of it, but I absolutely do love business. I love the idea of going to work every day and being in control of how much money I make and whether or not I succeed or fail. I don't know, for some reason, just going to a job and knowing no matter what I do every month, I'm going to make the same amount of money
Yeah.
is kind of unmotivating to me. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I want to be able to, dream as big as I want, and if I
Yeah.
have to reap the benefits of that.
That's great. I think it's amazing that like you becoming a mom kind of like the whole learning about trafficked victims was kind of sparked as right like you said when you became a new mom. Does being a mom still fuel those passions for you?
Yeah. It's funny because I read a quote the other day, and I can't even remember exactly how it went, but it was something like, there's a picture of a mom with her kids, and it said, "These are not your excuse. These are
Mm,
your motivation." And
wow.
it is easy as a mom to use your kids as an excuse. I know that sounds
Yeah,
really bad,
yeah, yeah.
but because it is a lot, and sometimes they really are a valid excuse. I mean, sometimes you have things to do with them, but it is really important that you use your kids as motivation and not an excuse. Because if you do, you just let all these years go by where you have these dreams that you don't even work at. You don't have to be 1,000% into your dream to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
so
what I realized
good.
as a mom, is that it's not all or nothing. I'm a very all or nothing person. That's just personality. So to me, I'm like, well, if I can't do my dream 100% as much as I want, then why even do it now? I have kids, I'm too busy.
Yeah.
And I learned, if you just start with what you have and where you are, you'll find a way. And
Yes.
you don't have to, like, your business can be a hobby for a long time.
Yeah.
I've had that case several years of my life where I've had my business be more of a hobby than a business, because I was just kind of feeling it out and finding that balance between mom and needing an outlet for myself, and it's grown into a business. So
Wow.
I do encourage moms to do something, to have a dream, with whatever you can.
That's really good and super encouraging as I'm kind of stepping out into that. I mean, obviously, it's still pretty early because she's so little still, but it's just encouraging to hear like the different moms I talk to, how they've like really paid attention to like what they love and incorporating their family and their children into that. So, yeah, I love that.
Well, and it's, honestly, it's become a part of the way I raise my kids, my business.
Mm,
It's a part of the way that I parent too. I'm able, business, kind of like sports, it teaches you how to be committed, to not give up, to not be afraid to put yourself out there. It teaches you success and failure. And so I just decided to really bring my kids along on the journey. So, like I told them, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get into my first store. When I was like, I
yes.
get my jewelry into a store somewhere. And I told the girls about this, and I'm like, oh gosh, if I tell them, I better do it, right?
Wow. Yes. That's
It
so great.
began to dream with me. And so I sat down
Mm,
and said, okay, this is how you get in a store. And I kind of talked them through the business process.
wow.
I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna show her my stuff, and I already set up the meeting, and we're gonna see what she thinks. So, and I bring them with me, and I gave them their little, I know this is bad, but give them their iPads or their books or whatever, pad, and said, "You better be quiet. This is But they knew what I was doing and why I was there, and so they were really well behaved. And I do my meeting, and then I remember when I got in my first store. I mean, the girls were so proud. Every time we go in the store to restock it, they're like, "This is my mom's jewelry," and I made this, and they're just so proud. Like, I mean, we were like at Disneyland. We're standing in line, and my daughter's like, "My mom has jewelry in a store."
Oh my gosh.
They're just so proud, and so they get to see me, succeed. And I also tell them about my failures. Times that, I've tried to do something and it just hasn't gone the way I wanted, or things like that, and they're able to see, I'm not gonna let that get me down. I'm going to keep on going. I still believe in helping these trafficking victims, and I pull them into, like, they help to paint the garages at the Safe Home in Riverside. They come out today with brushes, and so my business is be able to also be a way I teach my kids some of the most fundamental principles I want them to learn in life.
That is so cool. Ah, that's awesome. How do you stay inspired in the day-to-day, including like managing your time? So I imagine for you, like running a business and a home, like how do you practically stay inspired but also manage your time?
Yeah, well, those are two really, really good questions, because those big struggles. I have struggled a lot as a mom entrepreneur. Being a mom, especially like a stay-at-home mom, your life is just so unscheduled. And so you have to be really disciplined, because there's not a meeting you have to be at a certain time. It's up to you if you do that meeting or you do that thing. I think what kind of keeps me motivated is my why. I'll tell you what, even yesterday, it was the day after Thanksgiving vacation, right? It was Monday. We just came back from Thanksgiving vacation. And I was just so unmotivated. I was just like, I do not want to do this today. I just had a meeting with my family. I'm out of the groove. I don't want to go back into this. And so I just sat here at my desk and I just said, why am I doing this? Out loud, like telling myself my why. And I was like, I am doing this because you are currently slaves. Doing this because this is a way to show God how grateful I am for what he has given. This is a way to use the gift he's given me to give back. And I just kept saying my why, and by the time I was done telling myself, I was like, come on, Chelsea, we got this.
That's amazing.
So sometimes, I really have to just remind myself why I'm doing it, because it's really easy to get distracted or unmotivated, especially as a mom entrepreneur, I think, because you're so scattered everywhere. You have so many things pulling on you, and it's really easy just to let go of your business and let everything else consume you.
Sure, yeah.
So that's how I stay motivated, I should say. What was the other part? I'm sorry, you asked me another.
Yeah, no, that's great. You actually answered both of them. It's like how you stay inspired and manage your time. And it sounds like that was so cool to hear you say, like, for one, sharing the honest part of, like, it's not always like, you're not always inspired. You're not always like, okay, let's do this. But speaking your why, I love that. I think that's so important and would definitely be helpful for keeping on track and staying focused in the days that are harder.
Yes.
That's so great. Yeah. I think coupling with this question, I also like to ask moms, like, how do you take care of your heart?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say the way that I do that is I get up early. That's really it just works for me. I get up before the kids at about 5:30, and I go for a run, and that's, I will run and work out, and that's how I keep my mind clear. For me, something to do with working out, it really helps me to not be depressed. It's easy to get depressed as a stay-at-home mom sometimes, lonely and kind of depressed. So I really have battled with that. So for me, for some reason, exercise really fights that. So I have to make that a priority. So I get up and it's the very first thing I do in the morning. I get it over with.
Yeah.
I will get too busy. I won't do it. And then I have my quiet time after that. And once I'm done with that, then I wake the girls up in the morning. So that's kind of my me time every day. And if I do it first thing, I don't even think about it. I just set the alarm and roll straight out of bed.
Yes.
And I have to do run before I do my Bible study, because to be honest with you, if I get up at 5:30 and try to read my Bible, I will fall asleep.
Yeah, that's great. Great point. Yeah.
Work first, because then I'm like past being tired by the time I get to my
That is such a good point.
but I'm serious. I cannot wake up at 5:30 and read.
Oh man. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Love that. Okay, I really love this next question because it seems to be kind of a universal, really relevant subject, actually. And that is, have you experienced mom guilt? And if so, how do you work to overcome it?
Oh yes, the mom guilt. I totally have. I experience it, and I think it's, we probably always will experience it in a
Yeah.
certain way. But I will say that since I started office hours, I experience it a lot less.
Mm,
Basically, what I do is I spend my time on paper before I spend it in person.
mm,
So I sit down and I actually spend all of my time for the week. I write it down and I spend it. And it's in a balanced way that I feel good about. And then I start my week. So I've already pre-planned, like, for example, I've set my office hours right now, which is the best ones I've ever had, because I've always had kids in preschool, or one's in a half day, one's in full day, or they're not in school at all.
yeah.
This is like, I actually have both kids in school full time now.
Nice.
So my office hours are from the minute I drop them off till the minute I pick them up. And then as soon as I pick them up from school, I am done. And it's hard when you run your business from your house, because when you're working your business, I look outside my office door and I see the hallway full of my kids' clothes right now. And I'm thinking, doing the laundry, I should be picking up. But then if I'm picking up, I'm like, oh, I should be doing my business. But then if I'm doing my business, I should be spending time with my kids. That kind of
Yeah.
feeling. And so this has really helped me. I go, no, this is the pre-dedicated time for my house. This is the pre-dedicated time for my kids. This is the this and that. So I don't have to feel guilty when I pick them up this afternoon and I'm not working the rest of the day,
Yeah.
because I've already planned that. Now, there are times like, right now is a good example, when I do have, Christmas orders coming up. So I'm extra busy.
Yeah.
So I don't have to feel guilty when I'm extra busy, because then I just go, you know what? A few weeks from now, I'm going to take a day off or whatever. But giving yourself set office hours relieves so much mom guilt.
That is so good. I love that. That's so practical and helpful especially for moms that work from home.
Yeah,
That's
you give
really good.
permission to, as long as you work
Yeah.
during those hours, you have permission the rest of the day to do whatever else you want to do. So that's how
Yeah,
I feel
that's
about
great.
it.
Good points. Okay, so I also like to talk about legacy and the legacy that you think about leaving to your children. What are the specific things when you hear the word legacy for your kids? What do you think about?
Oh, well, I really want, number one, I want them to have a real relationship with God. That's just really important to me, that they actually really know Him personally, not that they grew up in a Christian home and they know about what the Bible says, but that they actually know God and have a relationship with Him. So that's probably my most important. I also really want them to know what it means to work hard and to be grateful for what they have. I mean, just the fact that we're born in this great country, we have so much to be thankful for. And I want my kids to understand that. And I want them to use their life to make a difference for others, however that is. I don't really care. I just want them to really live their lives grateful and giving back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's hard because legacy is so all encompassing,
Totally. Well, and I think like as I've talked to different moms about legacy specifically, like it helps me kind of figure out, I mean, personally, what is it that I want my kids to hang on to and to steward as they get older. But also I love the like just the beginning stages. Like those are like two like simple but really profound things that will like change your kids' lives forever. if that's like, something that you're praying into or want them to take with them. Like, I just love that. So I think that's great. Great.
Well, and I actually started as soon as I found out I was pregnant with each of my kids, I started a journal. And I was like, found out I was pregnant with you, and since then I write to them.
Wow.
I think it's kind of a legacy that I'll leave them. And it's also, I'm really honest about my journey as a mother in them, because I want to be able to I know how hard it is to be a mom, and all of the roller coaster and the emotions and the stress and the growing and stretching it does to you. And so I'm really honest in there about, what we're doing, this month, what's going on in your life. And so that they can read it when they're a mom.
Wow.
Oh, my mom went through that too. Or, but also I want them to learn, read about their own lives and their milestones and, that. So that's I guess like my little legacy book.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That is so cool. And you know what? I was a super good journaler before I had Bobby, and I've been trying to figure out how do I fit that time in, but I also bought a journal for her as well. And I've been so bad about filling it in and feeling guilty about it. But I think more than anything, because I'm like, oh, I've got to record her specific milestones, but I don't even think about talking about what I'm encountering as a new mom. That is such a great idea. I think I'm going to try and do that.
Yeah, it's really fun. I hope they love it. I haven't decided if I'm going to give it to them, they become a mom themselves, or I'm going to give them to them. They don't know about them,
That's such a treasure. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I like to end with some fun questions. And the first would be a favorite product for yourself or for your kids that you could not live without.
Well, right now my kids are obsessed with bath bombs.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Are obsessed with bath bombs. So my friend Diana, she has this company called Aloe and Bloom, and she makes these amazing bath bombs. And I'm actually headed to buy some more today. They just love. I know that sounds. I don't know if you're looking for something, really useful.
No, that's great. I love that.
Tell you what, when they're fighting, I just give them each a bath bomb and put them in their own tub. Well, you go in that tub, you go in that tub.
Nice.
So my magic secret sauce right now.
That's perfect. We'll have to add your friend's website to the show notes so people can check it out. Yes. Awesome. Okay, and then next would be a favorite holiday tradition with your family.
Ooh. Well, I don't know, is your birthday a holiday? Because I
have for sure.
So for their birthday, after they go to sleep, I decorate the entire downstairs for them, streamers, windows, and it's ridiculous. I just cover the entire downstairs with whatever they're into, like Reese's into princesses. So every wall has a different princess on it, and their door, I do the streamers almost all the way to the floor from their door. They love to walk through those, and and then they eat ice cream for their breakfast on their birthday, and then ditch school and go on a date somewhere. So that's kind of like our birthday tradition. Everyone knows I'm going to decorate like a maniac when it's your birthday, and then they wake up in the morning, they come downstairs, and the whole house is done for them. So.
That is so precious. Okay, I interviewed Angie Twyman for this, and she does the same thing to her kids' rooms. And I'd not really heard of that before, and I think it's so great.
Yeah, me and her are hilarious. We do so many things the same.
Really? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And we we'll find out. We're like, you do that too? We're like, oh my gosh, we're like twins.
Oh, I'm not surprised. You kind of remind me of her. That's so cool. Yeah. I love it. Okay, and then a piece of advice you'd give to a young mom.
Ooh, that's a all-encompassing one too. I think don't sweat the small stuff. The more, my kids, I'm not that they're that old, but my oldest is 9 now, and I look back at things I stressed out about, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was going to learn to walk, she was gonna learn to pronounce her words right, it's just so easy to be especially with your first, just so stressed and concerned, and it's just let it go. It's just yourself a lot of stress, and I think don't compare yourself. You just be the mom that you feel that you should be. If you are giving your best, who cares if someone else's house is cleaner or decorated cuter or their kids are dressed better or they're always on time? Like, who cares?
That is so good.
Just be yourself the best you can.
I love that. So good. Oh, Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I'm so thrilled to hear a little bit about your experience as a mom, and I can't wait to share this too, as well, so we can get some word out about your company. We'll add the links for that. You're on Instagram, right? At Pacific Daisies?
Yeah, Pacific and then underscore then Daisies.
Okay, perfect. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode with Chelsea Dischinger. Again, if you would like more information on her and her company, Pacific Daisies, be sure to check out our Instagram at Mommispace, as well as Pacific Daisies. We'll have the links in the show notes as always. Guys, if you enjoyed today's show, I would love to hear from you via review on iTunes. There are directions as well in the show notes if you don't know how to do so, but this is such a good way for us to get the word out about people like Chelsea with her incredible business that supports trafficked victims. This is just one simple way that we can kind of practically get the word out to more mamas, as well as providing some more connection and encouraging moments for moms out there of all stages. Be sure to tune in to our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates so you can find out who's to come, as well as get information on our past guests. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to this show. That way you can get all of our new episodes downloaded automatically to your mobile device, computer, whatever you use to listen to podcasts. And yes, baby's with me. She's wanting to say goodbye. Anyways, hope to see you next week. Remember, you are loved. You are enough. You are doing the best you can. See you, mama. Walking little steps.